Lord have mercy. Excuse me, I had to get myself together here. I'm so glad to be back with you this morning. Thank Reverend Peggy and Reverend Brenda for last week. I was able to get away for 4 days at Ananda. I'm very thankful for that. But don't get comfortable up here because I'm coming back. And just to let you know, the fourth Sunday of this month, it'll be Reverend Brenda with Reverend Peggy again. And the fourth Sunday of July will be Reverend Dr. Georgia. I told her, your time off is over. God, I love her. Thanks, God, for her. So my title this morning is A Time of Uncertainty. And I'm using the wisdom from The Art of Uncertainty, how to live in the mystery of life and love it. I don't know about you, but can you live in a mystery and love it? Yes, we can. We can love it. Do you like mystery at all? No, I do when it's on TV. I love British television, right? Ministry, just absolute mystery and suspense. I love it. I love Vera and Endeavor. Wire in the Blood. Let me tell you something about Wire in the Blood. I used to watch Wire in the Blood, and I would watch so many episodes because there were so many seasons that I would get sleepy, and I would stand up so that I could finish the episode. Now, does that mean I needed rehab? Yeah. Mm-hmm. MI5, Broad Church, Grantchester. And my favorite now is Father Brown. He's my role model. I'm going to come in here with that hat, I tell you. And the science fiction with a mystery is exactly the thing I love the most, Picard and Star Trek Discovery. These days, though, I got very little time for all of that. I get one in a day at least, like a pill a day. But I'll tell you what the secret is of disconnecting. If you don't have internet service, you can meditate, you can read, you can stop thinking about everybody else. I didn't think about you at all. Once they turned the internet off, I was done. It's really odd, though, to be in a place that doesn't have the internet. But the gift of a good mystery is the fact that it holds your interest all the way to the end. See, we want to know who did it. We want to know how the mystery will be resolved. We just want to know, and we know it will happen. And that's what keeps us engaged. But what about in our life? How do you handle the mysteries in your life? Do you handle them the same way? Are you holding on until the end, until the mystery of uncertainty has solved itself? Unfortunately, you have to hold on because it's your life. It's life. We expect a mystery show to have a solution. But in life, we hope there's a solution when you're going through. And when it's coming, you wonder, but when? And as one minister says, why, God, why? And when, God, when? See, sometime you get thrown a curveball. And that's the extent of what I know about basketball. See, we are not prepared when we get a curveball. Maybe you want to scream, or maybe you just want to escape the whole thing. We don't expect it. And when we are uncertain, we are looking for a resolution and for it to come to an end. But when? When will it end? That's all we want to know. Why, God, why? And when, God, when? Life has thrown you a curveball that stops you dead in your tracks. Have you been there? Sickness, an unexpected death, loss of work, a loved one telling you, I don't want to be around you no more. Sometimes that's a blessing, though. Can you live in the mystery and love it? Our spiritual principle says it all works together for good because of divine love. It all works together for good. Through it all, through you and through me is the way it happens. Now, maybe some of you have such elevated consciousness that when you are in uncertainty, it's all good. It's all good for you. Well, I ain't like that, The first thing I have is a little inner panic. You know, when you get that nasty taste in your mouth. But now, when I sweat it, you will never know. I will never show a least bit of not having it together all the time. It's just the way I think. But even on the inside, I may be unsettled. But consciousness is this thing that once we cultivate it, we can learn how to manage the uncertainty. The question is, God, where are you in this situation? That's the only question there is. Now, through practice, this question comes faster and faster each time. First time, I'm panicking, and eventually I get to the point. Sometimes I'm so concerned that it comes back real fast. I panic, and then I realize, oh God, where's God in this? And sometimes I'm connected to source to such an extent that I ask the question long before I panic. And I live for those times, because then it's all good. It's all good then. This week, I had a very unpleasant issue, a point of uncertainty. And it shook me. It shook me really deeply. I have a friend, his name is Eli. And Eli and my birthdays are a day apart. So we can always remember each other's birthday, right? He's 2 years older than me. He tried to be 2 years younger than me the other day, but he's 2 years older than me. See, we both can remember. And in most cases, Eli emails me first to remind me that I have a birthday, because 9 times out of 10, I've forgotten because I'm just too busy. But I did not hear from Eli this year. And it kind of bothered me because, you know, when someone's behavior changes, it bothers us. It bugged me. So I, of course, sent an email and said, you were late, sending me an email reminding me about my birthday. But I did not get an email back. Why didn't I get an email back? I learned that Eli was in the hospital, and it shook me. Why? He and his family live in Reno, and I haven't seen them in 15 years. How could that be? Someone I love like my brother. 15 years. And we are connected like you would not believe. I mean, he can finish my sentences. And so this service is dedicated to he and his wife and his son as he goes to surgery tomorrow. Eli is my brother from another mother. We always have been that way. I could tell you some stories, but unless you were there in that video, I ain't telling. He is one of my longest friendships, over 25 years. And let me confess, I don't have many friends for that long of a time. I have lived in 6 states in my adult life. And I have lived here longer as an adult than I have lived anywhere. So that lets you know I'm running from the police all the time. You know, as soon as they catch me, I run to the next state. You know, but the last time Eli had surgery, he was in my hospital. And somehow or another, I had this strange sense of comfort because I felt a little bit in control. You know, he was in my hospital. I could threaten everybody, scare them to death. They happened to be my department anyway. And, you know, but I felt I can control the situation because I could go to Eli and I could pray for him myself. And I have no doubt in that situation. And this time, I hadn't seen him in 15 years, and I needed to touch and agree with him. Long distance prayer works, y'all. If there's only one consciousness and one mind, but I am here to tell you, I needed to see my brother. I needed to see him. Long distance wasn't going to work for me. I had to be there. Fortunately, I got a flight on Friday, and I was able to visit him, and it was like we had just seen each other yesterday. We've spent a lot of tough times together, though, you know? Now, I had my prayer posse on the case. My prayer posse is the practitioners. Yes, thank you. See, I have learned to ask for prayer when I need it. And that wasn't always easy for me. So I'm telling you, if you ever need someone to pray for you, reach out to our practitioners. They always embrace the task, and somehow or another, my whole countenance is just lifted because I know they're involved. There isn't anything more sacred to me than asking someone to either pray with me or pray for me. You have entered a sacred place with me. You can't get any closer to me than that. And that's how I felt about seeing Eli. But often it is said that the only thing in life that we can expect is change. So how do you handle it? How do you handle change in your life? Do you struggle with the uncertainty, or is it just all good and you love it? Not me. Life is a mystery, and the ultimate mystery is life. There's nothing like it. It will throw you around a curveball. The author writes, "We are born from pure essence of the divine creation, given a body to rattle around with for a little time. And then we leave again, returning to the divine essence from which we came. It's between these two events we call life." That's how we start out, and that's how we end. We call that life. So sometimes we are either pushed by pain or pulled by possibility and opportunity. Which one is it for you? Sometimes I have both feelings all at the same time. I feel like I'm being pushed, and at the same time, understanding that there is only opportunity. So how can you live when you don't have control over all the situations in your life and the people around you? I have come here this morning to tell you the answer to that. The answer to that is that you can't. You can't. You can't control everything, but you can go through if your consciousness is held on principle. We can manage our responses. We can manage how we think. We've all lived through a very, very tough time in the last number of years, but we were able to do it. But how do you handle uncertainty and love it? That's the line that bothers me. And love it. I can handle the uncertainty, but I'm supposed to love it too? I mean, really? Are you pushed by your pain or pulled by the opportunity and the possibility? It's one or the other, and often it's both. See, sometimes we want life to be like the merry-go-round, that it's a thing that we have seen before. We know what to expect because we see the same thing over and over again. But sometimes life is a roller coaster. And sometimes that roller coaster is Space Mountain, which is a roller coaster in the dark. If you haven't been there, it's a roller coaster in the dark. And it will make you scream like you're a crazy person in a Dracula movie. The roller coaster ride of life is in the dark because we don't know. We just don't know what uncertainty when it's going to end. Who prefers the merry-go-round? You know, some children want the same story read to them every night. Why? Because they know the end of the story. And you know the end of the story. The end of the story is that it all works together for good because of divine love. You know the end, even when you don't see it. That's why you hang around with us, because we'll remind you it will all work together for good. You can enjoy all the feelings and the change because you understand when it's all said and done, it's all going to work together. You don't know how. God knows I don't know how. I'm still waiting on some things to understand. We know the end of the story. It all works together because of divine love. Now, do you think that God plans and controls everything in our life? See, I knew I wouldn't get a response. I know many of you are afraid to say yes, but I don't think so. Because having free will allows us to make decisions for ourselves about how we're going to deal with it. Now, there are 3 levels of consciousness that I'm going to talk about. Some say 7. I can only handle 3. 7 is too big a number for me. And we'd be here a long time. 3 levels of consciousness. The first consciousness level is all consciousness, the Almighty, the divine mind. Everything exists within divine consciousness. All the attributes and all the qualities of the divine mind exist, and they are inexhaustible. At the next level of consciousness, it's human consciousness. Some people call it race consciousness. It is the collective consciousness, and this is where we have fear and doubt, and in the same minute, you can be fearful and doubting all at the same time, because that is the collective consciousness of humankind. But the real level that is important to us is the third level. The most inner level is our consciousness. And this is where what we believe resides and how we are going to get through the situation, and it will determine for us how we handle it. That's how it is. It's our consciousness. The goal is for our consciousness to go through human consciousness and touch divine consciousness. And when we can do that, there's nothing that's impossible. There's absolutely nothing you can go through. That medium area of human consciousness is where all conditions actually are. It is a less than ideal situation. It's not always wrong. It's just not the ideal. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel that it is complete. I have learned there is nothing in life like something being complete. You understand it all. So our task is to connect ourselves with divine consciousness. This manages our fear, and it manages the time period between where we are right now and when we get to the end of the story. See, the universal imperative is this: grow or die. It's just the way it is. Although sometimes we can die slowly, but we have to grow. Now, this brings us to change. Growing brings us to change. How do you handle that? How do you handle change? Sometimes the pain of desperation will move you. And sometimes it's the bliss of inspiration. It's either inspiration or desperation in most situations. And now, in my opinion, I think inspiration comes to us first. And when we don't cooperate, desperation shows up. I don't know about you, but it certainly has for me. It is the richness of life, though, that we embrace the unknown, the mystery that is yet to be, that we get to participate in. If we grow, we will always be out of our comfort zone. You cannot grow in your comfort zone. And guess what? I don't like it. I don't like being out of my comfort zone. Ernest Holmes put it this way. He says, nature will not let us stay in a place too long. Nature will let us stay long enough to gather the experience necessary for the unfolding of our character and our nature and the advancement of our soul. Only there long enough. Get the lesson early. Maybe you'll get out quicker. Nature demands that we change. It's just a part of who we are. It's the evolution of humanhood. We need to connect to the divine energy, though, the life force, trusting that we will be provided with whatever we need to progress from this point to the next. It is built in you. It's factory installed for you to know and have everything you need to get through every uncertain point in your life. Now, no judgment here. Anyone that wants to stay on the merry-go-round, it's all a choice. Good for you. Stay on the merry-go-round till it kicks you off. Because I don't think anybody avoids the roller coaster. The roller coaster just happens. But a new creation occurs in the unknown. That's where it happens. And if we're trying to control everything in life and not letting us evolve, we are just going to frustrate ourselves. We must introduce a new cause for our life to change, and we take that cause back to divine mind. We will never be able to change our current situation with the knowledge and the experience of the past. They're only lessons, because life is a teacher. We leave the zone known as the merry-go-round, and we get on the ride of the roller coaster, and Lord, it's in the dark. But we can make it. Now, the only safe place when you're on a roller coaster is what? To stay in the car. And to stay in the car for us, for the people of faith, when we're going through an uncertain situation, we stay in the car, we ride in the dark because we hold on in the mystery. We don't run out of what we know to be true. We stay in the car. We don't lose it. We stay in the car because we know the mystery is moving us to our next level. Now, you can guess if you're on a roller coaster and you're going up, eventually you're going to hit the top and it's going to come down. But the anticipation of getting there sometimes is the longest time in your life. When, God, when. But can you handle the uncertainty and love it? The author recommends first, be curious and inquisitive. When you are in a situation of uncertainty, look at it. Where is God in this? Because it's there. Curiosity helps us learn and understand and gives us the ability to move from where we are to where we need to go next. Learn quick. Get out of the roller coaster early. But it gets us outside of our boundaries. We have to be. We know that inquisitiveness is just the thing that is put before us because we understand there's something happening. I don't know exactly what it is. I'm here to tell you there is something happening here. And I'm not particularly sure exactly what it is, but I know where my faith is, and I'm going to stay in the car, okay? Because there's this amazing thing that goes on all the time. But we try to process this new information and try to figure it all out. But curiosity is very important. It's a tool. It gives us and recognizes our intuition. The ultimate school in life is the school of life. I don't care what we learn in school. It's life that teaches us best. So from the day that we were born, when we enter the mystery of not knowing until we leave the planet, the only way to grow is to step into the unknown. And if you are at a point of uncertainty, it is time to step into the world of the unknown because you are built for it. You will not be lost. You don't have to get out of the car. Just stay in the car and ride through because Spirit will take us through. That's how we do it. Yes? Are we being pushed by the pain or pulled by the possibilities? How do you change? Pain or possibility? I have both going on most of the time, right? Back and forth, back and forth. But I look for those times when I'm being pulled by possibility. But you have to look at it and go, I have no idea how this is going to work. When I accepted this role, I went, I have no idea how this is going to work. And all of this creativity comes out of this room and the people that are online all the time. I'm fascinated. Everybody has a ton of recommendations for me. I don't really have to know anything. You make me look good. God knows you tell me. And I am thankful. I'm thankful. I don't know everything, and I know I don't. And you will always present to me the opportunity to grow and to evolve. You are a part of my mystery. You are a part of what we experience in life together. But how do you handle uncertainty? Are you in an uncertain situation in life right now? Are you? You are in denial if you're not. But that's okay. We will hold you in love until you wake up and recognize that you are at a point of uncertainty, either being pushed by the pain or pulled by the possibility. But this is all about our evolution, and we are made and built for it. We don't need anything outside of us to make it through. We just need what was factory installed and what we're built to do. Why would Spirit call us to do something that is impossible for us? Except Spirit's going to step in and complete the gap. That's where we are. That's where the uncertainty is. It's the difference between where I and my abilities are and where the Spirit can take me. But sometimes we're just forced into growing. We don't want to go willingly. We ride that roller coaster and we're really not sure if change is calling us or we're calling on change. We're just not sure. But hold on and stay in the car. Can you live in the mystery and love it? Learn to become friends with uncertainty because that is where the next miracle and exposure of Spirit is going to come in your life. You are at the threshold of something new. And we have to be open so that we are aware when we're in the situation that, oh, I'm supposed to go in that direction, but I cannot see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I know what will carry me through the tunnel. It's the same spirit that brought me in this world and the spirit that's going to take me out of it. It's the same thing. Embrace it. Whether it's pain or possibility, just embrace it, because your uncertainty is only here so that you evolve. So can you step into the mystery? Can you step into uncertainty, full of faith, acknowledging that you were built with all that you need to be able to make it through the time of uncertainty and the mystery? And we know the end of the story. The end of the story is it all works together for your good because of the love of God. And so it is. Yeah.